Okay, so now you've gone through and you've dreamed big. You've set out your list of goals and you've prioritised them. Now what's got to happen is you've got to work out the income that you need to achieve those goals. I'm going to start off assuming a couple of things here, all right? Just instead of me writing stuff down on the board which nobody wants to see, I'm going to assume that a reasonable amount of income to be earned in your first year in real estate, if you follow this, is $150,000, okay? So what that will do is it'll give you some savings, it'll give you some ability to achieve some short-term goals, such as an iPad or a holiday or something that I spoke about before. It'll allow for living expenses, and also it'll give you a little bit of headroom if you haven't been earning that amount of money before. If you have, and you want to set your goals higher, by all means, because what you're about to see will blow your mind actually how easy this is to achieve that amount of money. Now, real estate's a wonderful career and your income levels are uncapped and it's entirely up to you. But I really do believe that if you're getting into real estate and you're going to earn the average real estate income, which is about 50 grand a year, it's a pretty hard job for that. But you should be earning 100 to 150 in your first 12 months and then up from there if you choose to. And it's a really cool job when you start to earn that amount of money and you get the freedom that real estate involves. Okay, so to do this, now to work out the income that you want to earn, what we've got to do is work backwards using the figures that we had before to get to a daily number of people that you've got to speak to. So there's a heap of different ways real estate agents get paid out there in real estate land, and so I'm just going to assume a couple of things. You'll hear a couple of different terms. One of the terms that you'll hear a bit is GCI. That term stands for gross commission income, which is the amount of commission that you receive from a sale excluding GST. The percentages that agents charge for commission also vary all around the country and from agency to agency. The amount of percentage that an agent gets paid in their office also differs from agency to agency. So I'm going to assume a couple of things. The first thing is that as the agent, your commission split on a sale is 50% of the gross commission income. Just kind of makes my maths easier. The other thing that I'm going to assume is an average fee of $12,000. And if you look in Queensland at the moment, Queensland, well done, we've got the highest average commission in the country based off of the most recent Macquarie research. And a lot of agents are still charging at 2.9 to 3%. So I'm going to assume an average fee of $12,000 per sale. That's one of the things that you've got to know, as I said before, in your vitals. And it's important that you know how much you get paid each time you sell a house in your office, in your area. Because what that can mean too is you can give yourself an instant pay rise by either increasing your commission percentage or changing the value of the properties that you sell. Okay, so they're the assumptions. 50% to the agent and an average fee of $12,000. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go through here and step you through what we believe the right sort of ratios are when you're starting your real estate career and how you get to arriving at a number of people that you've got to speak to. Okay? Now this varies. As you go through and you get more experience in your real estate career, these ratios will vary greatly. But what we found in our experience in coaching and mentoring real estate agents for the last 20 years, that on average, when you're starting off, you've got to speak to about 28 people per appointment. Okay? That means you've got to speak with 28 people who own a property, ask them if they're thinking of selling it, before one of them says, yeah, come and see me, or talk to me on the phone about it. The next thing is how many listing appointments you've got to go to get a listing. And in our experience with people new to industry, that averages out at about 3 to 1. Okay, so you leave the office 3 times to see someone that owns a property, and every 3 times you come back with a listing. The next one is your list to sell ratio. Now that is what I talked about earlier. That is the amount of properties that you sell compared to the amount of properties that you list. At the moment, the list to sell ratio, I believe anyway, is unnaturally high because there's not as much stock on the market, but the demand is still huge, and list to sell ratios are running about 80 to 90% at the moment, and even higher for a lot of agents. But when you're starting off, your list to sell ratio is not as high because your skills aren't as high, and a lot of the times it starts off as low as 50%, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to assume, because you guys are getting some training, that you're going to be at 66%, meaning that 2/3 of the properties that you list will sell. Okay? So 66% list to sell ratio. And as I said before, the average fee on a sale for you is going to be $12K. Now, what I've done there is based all this to give you the numbers to achieve an income to you, a personal income of $150,000, which is going to cater for all those things I said before and also include money to pay the tax department. So stay tuned and I'll show you how effectively simple it is to plan your real estate career to dial in an income.